Marie Ettinger, Fox 35 News.
So, all the signs of, I believe, parental neglect are here. You know, why didn't the father listen to his daughter if she, in fact, told him that, she felt threatened by her 16-year-old stepbrother? This was like the perfect storm for something really bad to happen, Mike.
Yeah, Bill, denial is a very strong motive here. The father may have been in denial. I would imagine that she may have spoken to her father and said, look, Dad, I'm not really comfortable with this sort of situation. And the father might be very much in denial, not have his antennas up, not wanting to even confront the possibility that with his new family, that he's just made with his new mom, that you would want to throw some cold water on that relationship and maybe, make allegations against, a stepbrother that you're feeling comfortable. This is not uncommon, unfortunately, for family members like parents and uncles to try to look away, try to put it down, try to ignore and deny that there's anything wrong. Let's give it a time. Let's see how we work. Let's work this all out, and not actually listen and actually hear what that daughter is saying. This is not uncommon whatsoever. So I think maybe there's a little bit of denial going on within the family about how that young man was reacting to that young lady joining that family. And that's sad because it's not that uncommon.
It reminds me of the expression, you had the fox guarding the chicken coop,
Yes.
You put a 16-year-old boy in the room with not really his sister, a stepsister. So she's, and as I said, his hormones are raging. Only bad things are going to happen at that point, And I think the 14-year-old told the ex-boyfriend of Anna, or maybe even the current boyfriend, that he heard like an argument in the room and some things breaking and things. So that could have been the beginning of the assault.
Yeah.
And disturbing factors. And look, the FBI knows all of this stuff. They're just being, as they always are, which is good in a case like this, keeping silent, keeping what they know close to the vest. There's no doubt the FBI knows at this point, A, I believe, and that this is a homicide, and B, they know the cause. The medical examiner has told them, but it is not for the public's ears yet. And the big investigative tool in this case is the digital footprints. The FBI began the task, of course, immediately of reviewing thousands of hours of CCTV footage from cameras covering nearly every public space on the Carnival horizon. They were looking for any sign of Anna in her final hours, who she was with, where she went, what her demeanor was. Beyond the video, agents are meticulously analyzing electronic swipe card data. Every time a passenger or crew member uses their key card to enter a room, it creates a digital timestamp. This data is critical for building a precise timeline of who entered and exited Anna's cabin before and after her estimated time of death. Investigators are also examining her cell phone records, hoping to piece together her final communications. Simultaneously, the FBI and ship security conducted interviews with passengers, crew members, and most importantly, Anna's family, who were traveling with her. This included her father, her stepmother, Chantel Hudson, and her step-siblings. What started as a search for clues would soon lead to a shocking revelation that pointed the investigation in a startling new direction, directly inside Anna's own cabin. So, not advanced rocketry. They see that on November 6th, in that evening, Anna went in her room and she was alive. That was the last time she was seen alive. Who went in that room? The 16-year-old stepbrother. Not so hard, Mike, to surmise what occurred here. So the FBI is just trying to, again, the cliche, cross their T's, dot their I's. But we have to be concerned of how good was the crime scene, because a crime scene like this on land would be kept for a couple of days so that the investigators could go back to the scene. One of the things that they would absolutely collect are the blankets that wrap the body around for forensic evidence. They would absolutely keep that, photograph in depth. And as we said, we hope that medical legal investigators responded to that scene and they didn't wait to just examine the body once it got ashore in Miami, because then it's too late to collect some of the evidence. Mike.
Yeah, you got, as you said this many times in the show, you got one chance and you got to do it right, because you don't get a second chance. And many times you've seen crime scenes in apartments, in homes. That's very different than being out on the street. You know, you just think about some of the crime scenes you've handled where people have been stabbed to death or shot to death out on the street, in New York City, and you're trying to cordon a section of the sidewalk off, and there's so much activity. If there was bullets involved and there was an automatic, the bullet, the shell casings bouncing around, you got to find those shell casings. People might pick them up, people might kick them. You have this opportunity because this is a small cabin, but because of the nature of the surrounding area, it's a cruise ship, and there's a lot of people, and people had to walk past that cabin many times. And you hope that the people who found her, the maintenance people, you hope that they didn't do any sort of disturbing of the crime scene. If you've got a good, as you say, death investigator going in there, you have it photographed, they take their time. It may be 2-3 hours, whatever time they have, at least do a quick, it's going to have to be quick, but it's going to be a thorough investigation. And that is the one saving grace, is that it's not out in the street where you've got temperature, you've got moisture, you've got rain, snow, sleet, people walking by, kicking stuff around, not paying attention. Hopefully they got all the protocols done correctly, and we'll get a definitive answer on what exactly happened when they try to do a crime scene reconstruction.
Mike, one thing you said there, I don't agree with.
Okay.
The processing of the crime scene doesn't have to be quick. There would be a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
For it to be quick from the cruise ship, but the FBI can hold that damn ship as long as they want.
I hope so.
And they would of course have pressure from the corporation, from the captain, all of those things. But guess what? They don't have to do a quick crime scene. They have to do a thorough crime scene. And if the ship doesn't like it, that's too bad.